does a little bit of everything for the gym and athletes, Stan. And most of y'all probably know him. He's been with us for a long time, starting out as an athlete, moved into the role of coaching for us. And we were just going to chat for a little bit and just kind of probably just talk about all the shit we've been through, kind of how you got started, a little bit of your weightlifting career, and then any stories that we might got. Sound good?
I'm down, yeah.
Cool. So when... I mean, I can vaguely remember the time, but when did we actually like start working together? I think we actually started through CrossFit before even weightlifting, right?
Yeah, we started through CrossFit, and I think you were doing a program for someone else.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that looks fun. I want to play. So I used to work out with them, and eventually, pretty sure, just kept doing it. They stopped doing it. I was like, hey, you know that thing that the workouts they were doing? Can I still have those? Something like that, and you're like. Yeah, let's go with that. So just kind of rolled on with that and just developed it more and more. And
that was probably before I even had Blue Wave, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's wild before.
That was like when I was in EST.
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to come up visit there for a while too.
That's right. Yeah.
But so there's that. Did CrossFit for 5 years? About 5 years. I probably knew you for about 3.5 of them or more of that.
Yeah.
But did that and then kept saying, hey man, you should really stick with weightlifting. I was like, nah, I'm good. I like CrossFit, which, at that time, I was obviously young and delusional because cardio is difficult. But, and eventually decided to make that transition to weightlifting and then pretty much never turned back.
Doing that pretty much ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that had to have been, that means it had been close to like, if it was EST days, that was like 2013, maybe? Yeah. Because we didn't even open up Blue Wave till 15, like the end of 2015. Mm-hmm. And I think even when you came in then, that was probably pretty close to like your transition into weightlifting, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You've been doing weightlifting now for the last at least 4 or 5 years. 5 years?
I think it's coming up on 5 now, yeah.
Yeah. So we opened up Blue Wave. You came over pretty early on. We got you primarily weightlifting. Like almost as soon as we transitioned you into weightlifting, we started qualifying for like national meets like almost right away.
Yeah, within the first year. Like my goal was like, everyone's like, oh, you're not going to qualify national meets first year. It's like, no, that's my goal though.
Yeah.
And because like we tried to qualify for AO finals like within the first 3 months. Yeah. I had the total, but like putting it together and like consistently, the consistency wasn't really there.
Yeah, because we were still weightlifting when you were CrossFitting, just... Yeah. It wasn't like the whole focus.
Yeah.
So like once we switched you over, it was like, all right, the goal is in a few months try to qualify for AO finals.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I threw like 3 or 4 meets in like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I think I remember you
just smashing into it. It's like I was real determined.
Yeah.
Probably more hard work than actual knowledge. But I was I can make this work if I try hard enough. It was more
persistence than anything.
Yeah. But then I'm pretty sure we hit like a full cycle, and I had like what I like to consider an epic week because I PR'd my snatch by 10 kilos on one Monday, and that same Friday I PR'd my clean and jerk by 10 kilos. So,
badass, dude.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
Until the next cycle, we had to use my percentages off those new numbers.
Now everything's 10 kilos heavier.
That was no longer cool. Yeah.
80%. It gets real heavy, real fast.
Real fast. Like it's make for
so that had to have been right because if we opened up in it was like September, I think, of 2015.
Yeah.
So then. We hit a bunch of meets, qualified for AO finals that December.
Yeah.
Did we go to that AO?
We didn't.
Okay.
I don't even know if I qualified because I know I qualified. I went to a nationals before I ever went to an AO.
Okay, then it had to have been 2016 nationals.
Okay, yeah.
So then we hit it hard. Qualified for your first nationals 2016 then.
Yeah, because I went to
that's
universities right before that.
That's right. We did universities, and then we did nationals, and that was your first nationals and Kara, right?
Yeah, because it was me and Kara and you.
Was that Chicago?
Yeah, that was Chicago.
Yeah.
The bean and stuff. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a cool meet. I had never been to Chicago either.
Yeah, and it was the first time I was ever nervous.
Yeah, I remember because at the time you and Kara had been with me for a while, and y'all were in like local meets like were going on, but they're not like wasn't as many people in them.
Yeah, so
and there just wasn't as many people like in weightlifting, even though it's still like later in weightlifting. It really, it was still smaller.
it was still pretty small, yeah.
And so y'all were showing up at like almost every single weightlifting meet and winning.
Yeah.
And so y'all were like always the last lifters, like crushing it on the local level.
Yeah.
And then I remember taking y'all to, because y'all were even pretty confident in like your first local meet.
We didn't get to check into the hotel because we showed up because I had to compete a day before than we thought.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, it was like drinking from the fire hose because what happened was we're like, cool, we're probably gonna lift on the last day.
And plus we had no money at that time.
Yeah,
I had just opened up, so we were like, all right, we should be good if we like.
It's like, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah, we'll just fly in. We'll be good to go. Yeah. So, what happened? Did we fly in on a Saturday?
No.
Or did we, I guess we flew in on a Friday, and I guess you competed on a Friday?
Yeah, because I was near the middle of the day. I don't think there was a set Sunday on that one. It was just, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I competed. We flew in on a Friday, like midday-ish. And they were like, cool. Like, when we got on the plane, it's like, Chris, like, bro, they've got you lifting on Friday. I was like, wait, that's today. He's like, yeah. I was like, what? I'm like, what time is that?
That's right, I forgot.
Yeah, so, like, we get on the plane, and we get there, it was just, like, the second we woke up to the second, like, that day started, it was just full tilt the whole time.
Yeah, I totally forgot. We literally flew in, and then we pretty much took you straight to weigh-ins, right?
Straight to weigh-ins, yeah. Because, I think they started, like, a couple minutes before I got there, and, like, walked in, like huffing hard, like,
you're like, I've never been to a national meet before.
Yeah, I was like, where do I go? And they're like, yo, Bastien. I was like, that's me. It's like, cool. It's like, cool, get on the scale. I was like, what do I need? It's like, cool, take clothes off, this, and like weighed in. Like, luckily I was relatively light at the time, a long time ago. But and made weight. I was like,
yeah, you were in a 94 then, right?
Yeah, still 94. And man, weighed in, made weight, was freaking out. Then talked to Chris. I was like, hey, yo, we probably need to start warming up soon, so you can like eat and stuff like that. We started going. I was like, did okay in the B session of snatches and stuff like that. And then this really cool thing, it's like called CrossFit, came back into my life because I realized I was the first person clean and jerking.
Yeah,
so like there were like 4 more people snatching after me.
Yeah, because you were pretty close to the end on snatch. Yeah, like the last like 3 or 4 lifters.
Yeah.
And but you were the very first.
Very first one. So that it made me really happy. We did CrossFit.
Yeah, I remember that. You like walked off the platform, and I was like, all right, I didn't want to tell you before, but the scenario we're in now is we already need to be like 3 lifts into your clean and jerks.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like the second I dropped the weight, he's like, cool, we're skipping this jump right to this, like 70, 100, 120, 140. Here we go. Get ready to throw 55 soon. I was like,
yeah. We warmed up real quick.
Didn't help that I missed my first 2 attempts.
And I don't think I'd ever seen you or even Kara at that time like nervous for a meet.
Well, I had never had been nervous. Like when I was like, I was just competing. It's like the same thing, I go up, lift the stuff. But no, because like also before that, I see like 3 Olympians talking to each other. I was like, like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, this is completely different.
Yeah. So did that, like made my last clean and jerk on my last attempt. Almost bombed out my first nationals. Did it. I literally just remember walking off, like my hands were just like shaking. He's like, "You want to watch the recipe?" I was like, "No, let's go eat. We need to leave. Let's just be done."
Yeah, dude.
But best terminology I could ever say was like drinking from the fire hose. I was like, okay. Every nationals after that was like, it's not as bad. as the first
it was
one.
not as stressful as the first one.
Yeah.
Flying straight in, not even going to the hotel, just straight to the meet, straight to weigh-in, warm up quick, which snatches went really well, but then turn around after clean and jerk like right after, like 10 minutes to get ready for clean and jerk. Man, I totally forgot about that. Chicago was fun though. Like we ended up with like a whole day of being able to like walk around. It was luckily pretty nice, and so we got to go like to the parks.
We got to go see the parks. Like it was beautiful.
We went out to that the pier out there.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Grubbed hard.
Yeah, Kara had like a nice agenda. She was like, all right, here are all the places we're gonna go visit.
I want to see all this. We're like, cool, let's just go.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
The universities we did before that one, was that
That was Nacogdoches.
Oh man, I totally forgot about that one.
That didn't make weight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He looks so bad though.
Matt Mazza didn't make weight. He was really shout out to Matt. I forgot.
Love you.
I mean, he was competing as a 69.
He was so
right?
skinny. He looked
so
great.
skinny,
I'll give him
yeah.
that. He looked great.
He did not need to be a 69 any longer.
No, yeah, that's after that we're like, you're done.
Yeah, you're
that
done.
Weight class. It's not
and it
gonna
just
go.
happened to be like when he qualified, he was much lighter.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about that.
And then
I remember having
his
him
legs got
jogging.
bigger, he got heavier. Yeah.
We were
He
jogging
stopped
in the
sweating.
parking lot.
Yeah.
And he couldn't spit anymore. He wasn't sweating. I was like, dude, you've got nothing left.
The night before, we just like dropped him off at a sauna. We left. Went to go do stuff. Came back. He's like, "Did y'all leave me?" It's like, "Yeah, we did."
Yeah, I remember that now.
We went to go get donuts, and he was pissed. He was so mad.
Oh, that was a good one. Because then he ended up leaving early, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he's like, guys.
Was that the one where you and me ended up going to the little daiquiri bar down the street and stuff afterwards?
Play pool? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
That's exactly what happened.
I couldn't remember if that was that one or if it was New Orleans. I can't remember which one it was that we went out. New Orleans, I know we went and got like because that was another universities, wasn't it?
I think
New Orleans was a university.
I think that was the one.
That was the one where we went out to shot pool and stuff like that.
That's where Matt didn't make weight too, I think.
He only didn't make weight of one, didn't he?
I think that's the university that we're talking about.
Okay, that was the first university, so it wasn't
I only did
Nacogdoches.
one university.
Okay, then it had to have been New Orleans.
Okay, yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the food there was dope.
Yeah, that's right.
Epic food. Phenomenal.
I've never seen a human eat so much fucking meat. It was literally, you ordered a bowl.
It was called the Deluxe Bounty of the Sea. It says
it was for like 4 people.
These 4 people. I was like, and I ordered a fish bowl. They're like, it's made for 2. Chris like, yeah, I'll drink it. He's like, you're not drinking that.
No.
And so yeah, I pretty much ate.
You ate it all.
Oh yeah,
I
drank the whole fish bowl too.
I did not think that. I was like, all right, he's gonna order all this food. He's gonna eat like half of it, and then he's gonna take the rest. And it was like a walk.
Yeah.
Of like
it
had nothing but meat and potatoes in it.
And there was
right?
a few
so it was
sausage,
like
seafood
and sausage and potatoes.
So good though.
It was huge.
Yeah, like
I think I told you afterwards. I think I told you I was more impressed by that than I was like you competing
all the lifting,
and everything.
yeah.
All the lifting that went on.
So I felt pretty proud of that. Yeah, okay, made a total, and it was so good though. Like, 'cause it was cheaper than normal. Like
that. But going to New Orleans though, and then walking down Baker Street, I have no urge to ever go to New Orleans again.
No,
it was not. It was not clean.
I missed the food, but you said something. It was a perfect way to explain it. It's like everything was slightly expired.
That's right. Yeah. They
slightly expired.
I think Robin was asking me at the time. She was like, "Well, how was New Orleans? You've never been there before." And I was like, because I was kind of excited. And of course, we were like, we got to go walking down Baker Street. And then she asked me, she was like, how was New Orleans? I was like, my best way to describe it is everything was just slightly expired. The buildings, the food, the people. Like everything was just slightly expired.
Yeah.
I remember we walked through a park and there was literally like people sleeping in the park.
Yeah, like I remember paramedics
not
walking.
like one person.
No, there was a lot of them.
There was like a lot of people.
And I remember paramedics walking by because they were going to get food. Like they saw this dude sleeping, like give him like a little nudge, like he's alive.
They just kept walking.
Like we'll get him later. I was like,
yeah. I thought they were going to be like, sir, you got to get out of here. They just checked to see if he was breathing. They just walked off.
Dope, time to go eat. I'm like, wow. Okay.
And everything was still wet. Like there was
everything
water.
Stayed wet.
Like, there was
never
water
dried
everywhere.
up. Yeah.
And I understand that New Orleans was flooded for a long time, but it was like still, everything was still really
wet. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one though. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was the first one, and then Chicago. And then
Anaheim, that AO.
Was that the Anaheim? Anaheim was AO3. Wasn't it?
Anaheim was the final because there was a small group there. We did.
Okay, Anaheim was finals.
We did because we did 2. We did used to do AO2, and that was
was in Florida, wasn't it?
Miami, which was nowhere near water. Nowhere. It was like an hour and a half drive to a beach.
That was we were all excited. We had a pretty good group go to that one.
Yeah, we had a big group.
We took like 12 to 15 people that one. And that was when we were still pretty small, so it was like a large part. We had like a 20-person team, and we took like 12 of them or something to AO2, and we were all excited because it was Miami. We were like, this is great. We'll go out there. We'll hit the beach and all that.
Yeah.
And it was like in the middle of nowhere.
And it was inside of a smoky
somehow
casino,
it was like countryside.
So like,
Oh yeah, and it smelled like smoky.
So bad.
And then it was that was the one that was right after they had hosted like a Pan Am's there or something, right?
Mm-hmm. And all the platforms were broken.
So the platforms were all falling apart, and it was so crowded. It was like a small room.
It was like it felt like a room this size.
Yeah, the warm up area was so small. Like
the platforms were
like
touching.
Could not have even been like smaller than like most local competitions we had been
and
to.
then 2 platforms on one side, and then one on the other
one
side.
On the
and
other.
Still, they were all small. Like
But that was a rough one. It was a fun meet though. We had a good group out there that week.
We had a really fun group go out there.
Yeah. And then we did finals, which I don't even remember where that finals was.
I think it was Anaheim though, 'cause we didn't have a huge group.
Okay. It's all like meshed together at this
I know
point.
they all yeah.
So finals, I don't even remember anything from that finals.
Oh, I do. That was a great finals.
Was it?
Yeah, that's when we had that sun deck with.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was with Gage and
you were kind of screwed because
and all them were there.
Who was all in the room together? It was me, you, Kevin, and who else is a big person on?
Was it Michael?
Michael, yeah. So we had like 3 of our largest people on a team. We had our super.
So it was a 102, a 109, and a 109 plus.
Yeah.
Or is it the old weight classes?
I think that's the new one. I don't know.
So anyways,
Still,
those were the size of people, and then me.
Because I was 105 at that one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We had a 105, 10, whatever Kevin was.
He had to have been a 105.
We had 2 105s and a super.
Yeah, and then me, and we were all sharing a room, and so of course it was 2 beds, and so we everybody had to share beds. And is that the one where I ended up with a twin bed though?
Eventually, because we acquired one.
That's right.
But over the first 2 nights, you just straight just.
Oh yeah. There's the key to having to share beds with large weightlifters is you build a pillow barrier.
Yeah.
Between you and other lifters. So that way, if they roll over, they run into the barrier before they start spooning you.
Yeah, because Chris sleeps like a vampire. He sleeps just like.
Yeah, I don't move. I don't move at all.
I move around a lot, so I'm already at the edge. And for me, I like to move around. So I realized I rolled over and hit Chris, and Chris is just looking at me, just boom! Jasper was sorry. Turn back to the other side.
Yeah. From there on out. But then. But you're right. There was a twin bed in the hallway.
Yeah,
I was just standing up.
I was like, Chris, let's grab it. I was really expecting him to say no. He's like, let's go.
I was after 2 nights of really shitty
you had
sleep.
Me and Kevin.
Yeah, and then y'all were all snoring, and it was bad. It was so bad. And so I was like, yes, grab the twin bed. And so we stole the twin bed, took it to our room, so then I could actually have
a bed,
and then whoever was lifting the next day had their own bed, and then the other 2 had to share. And so, and then I think from there on out, we always kind of made that rule that whoever's competing next gets their own bed. Try to get them the best sleep they can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. And we did find out that most places will let you get a twin bed.
Yeah.
So we started doing twin beds regularly after that. Yeah. Or if you did have to pay for it, it was an extra $10 a night. It was totally worth it.
Because Chris is getting a little bed. But
yeah, I got no problem. I'm the smallest guy, and I don't move. I can just sleep in a twin bed, no problem at all, and it's way better.
That sun deck was fun though.
Yeah. There was that the one that had the pool, or is it No, there was just a second. Oh, that's right. It was just a huge open area in the middle of that. So that was the one where we had a good group at that one because Kevin and Nikki were there.
Had Kevin and Nikki, me, Gage. Steph, Gage, Mike.
That might have been it.
I think it's 6, which was still a solid group for us because the year before was 2, or not.
I think. Was Kara at that one? I don't know if she went out to that one. I think she qualified. I don't know that she competed though.
I think something happened though. I don't remember what happened though.
Well, I mean, you know how I think part of it. I think part of it was also money. All of us were strapped for cash, and then trying to go pay our way to every single national meet. Every now and then we just get to the point where you have to pick and choose which ones you're going to. And so a lot of times it was we can do one national meet a year which one is it you're going to do?
Which one are you going to pick?
Yeah, and so for most of us, it's going to be like, well, okay, well, if we qualify for nationals, we're for sure going to nationals.
Yeah.
And then if it's another one, we're going to do nationals and AO finals.
Yeah.
And then if it's another one, maybe we'll throw in a series.
Yeah.
Which we started doing after that first year. We started doing the AO3
because it just fits perfectly.
It felt a lot better in like our schedule. Yeah, and so.
And also, it's just usually more fun. Like AO finals, like sometimes it's in a cool place, but it's usually like there's not as much to do. AO finals usually highly densely populated place. You can walk to everything. Like it makes it more fun.
Yeah,
like there's stuff to do, especially if you take a big
AO3 was always a big one too.
Yeah. Well, the first year they had AO3, it was in Vegas when they were setting all the new weight classes.
Oh yeah,
they had 1,600 lifters, like 5 platforms.
Yeah, that was like the record.
They run it it was like one of the best ran meets ever. The platforms weren't broken. It was pretty dope.
That was such a good venue too.
Yeah, it was. Like it was right. Everything was right there.
So much space, and I was nervous because back when I was competing. I think it was before I had you with us. Maybe it was that 2016 finals that you didn't go to.
Yeah.
That was like the first year that they had like close to 1,000 lifters. It was like 900 or something like that. It might have not. It might have been like the one before it. You know what?
Early, right?
It might have been the one before. It might have been 2015.
Yeah.
Because I think it was before they did like a bump in totals.
Uh-huh.
So the totals were still like relatively low.
Manageable.
And then like CrossFit had already like funneled a ton of people into weightlifting.
Yeah.
So I think like a lot of people qualified for it. And it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was so many people. And I mean, sessions like 45 minutes late, an hour late.
Yeah.
And so then so my first like experience to like a really, really big meet was that, and then when I heard that the Vegas one was going to be like 1,500 people, I was like,
it's a
so
coin toss.
stressed out.
It's like either they're going to be really good or it's going to go.
I was like, I'm about to take all of our weightlifters to Vegas, which is already stressful, and then on top of that, I'm like, it's going to be a clusterfuck of a meet.
Yeah.
But it ran really.
It was
really
so smooth though. Like it was good. It was cold too. Like AC was on point. Like,
I was
just
the venue was cool.
Because I bought clothes and stuff like that. I just started like giving them because like she's like,
oh yeah, she was freezing.
I was like, I'm fine. Here, take some clothes. But
yeah, no, that was a fun event too.
Yeah, like we also got to see some amazing lifters because everyone's trying to set like qualify for worlds and stuff with their new weight classes.
I think it was some kind of qualifier for like a world team or something like that, and so there was a ton of like Olympians and world
nasty athletes. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, so like spectator wise, it was a fun one because I think you were lifting the same time as like Sarah Robles.
Yeah, well, I had D'Angelo in my session.
Like, and D'Angelo in your session. Yeah, so. Yeah, there was a lot of starstruck stuff. Like
that's good meat. That's fun.
That was a really good. That was, I think, the one where we were like, I think we had put you in 3rd place.
If I would have made that last clean jerk.
That's right.
Because I threw 170 twice. I think.
I think you would have placed if you had hit that last clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And I think we moved you into 3rd place on your 2nd clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And then so we were just waiting to see if somebody missed a lift. And so, but then I think they ended up making their lift and bumped you to like your 4th place though.
Yeah.
But that was a really good. I mean, that's like your highest placement in one of the national meets, right?
Yeah. Because I took 4th in both AO3s now, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Let's get out of it.
I know, just right there.
This is like right there. Right there. I was like, oh, check out this cake. It's like, but it's not yours. Don't eat it. Like.
I will say though, the AO3s are very competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, like as competitive to me. Like, I mean. A lot of the nationals lifters are showing up for AO3.
Yeah.
Like you said, there was like a ton of like international lifters there, so very, very competitive. Whereas if we probably would have taken you to like last year's AO2, I mean you would have been on the podium.
Yeah, but at the same time, like getting a lift with D'Angelo, I could see like him throw epic weight. Like everyone on that like platform was just like they were strong. So it's kind of cool to see like
you were hanging.
I'd rather take 4th with. Like some big dogs rather than like I took 1st against no one. Like I like the competition. It makes it more fun.
For sure. And it's it's like the difference between, sure, a medal's a medal. Like you earned it. But when you know that you're actually like really competing against people.
Yeah.
And people are really fighting for it. It's a little different than being able to just go out there and sweep.
Yeah, exactly. Like cuz then it just She's like, well, we can bump you to this, like that's a PR or something like that. It's like it kind of gives you that little extra fire in the engine. It's like, let's kill it, let's moon shoot.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
And then when you get beat, you're like, okay,
I did my best. I tried.
Yeah.
Real
they
hard.
really beat me.
Yeah.
You know, I put up what I could, and they had to outlift me. They outlifted you. You know, that's that. As much as like part of the game is also people missing lifts, and you know, you earning a spot or moving up because of that.
Yeah.
You know, another part of the game is like having to go lift for lift against people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you hit something and they come out there and hit more, then
Like,
that's
okay,
just,
well, we're gonna go back at it.
That's just part of it, you know. And so, yeah, sometimes. But that being said, sometimes you never write yourself out either.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's gonna happen in a meet.
Yeah, there could be like the top 5 people, they all just bomb out. Like,
yeah.
There was one meet that I realized I took a 3rd place in total and 3rd place in clean and jerk because like it's like, well, everyone else is stronger. We left. And then they're like, "Oh, surprise! You took 3rd in this and this." Like, I got medals. Like that's kind of cool. Let's
for
go.
Sure. Yeah. So no matter what, like, you should never go into a meet. I would say you always want to go into a meet, especially like later on. I mean, sure, if you're like your first meet or something like that, you just go in there and you just make sure you're hitting lifts and all the above. But once you're in it for a while, you go into every meet like you're trying to win.
Yeah.
Like your plan is to win. Even if you're ranked in 10th place, you go into it
still a possibility
being like,
for it to,
I'm playing the game.
Doing this, yeah.
I mean, you could be a B session. I mean, we've seen people medal all the time from a B session. And so you go into it being like, I'm going into this game and I'm going to win today.
Yeah. And also like it gets your mind right. It's like you're not like, oh well, it's fine. I guess I didn't make a lift. Like, you're like, it just, I don't know, it amps up that passion level. Like you're in it.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you more like,
for sure.
It just makes everything pop better. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's almost the decisions you're going to make are completely different. When you're like, oh, I'm just going to go out there and hit some lifts, and maybe you end up being like, all right, I'm not going to be very aggressive, and I'm just going to like make sure I hit some lifts. Or you might even be like, you know what, I'm not competing, so fuck it, I'm going to go as heavy as I can, or I'm going to shoot for like a 5 kilo PR, which is sometimes also not a good strategy.
Yeah, also not a good strategy.
So if you always go into it like, I'm going to compete and I'm going to try to put it what best total I can be, you're going to select, competitive numbers for yourself, but also not like numbers that you're not going to hit.
Yeah.
And but you're also not going to like sandbag it.
Yeah, exactly. It just keeps you, I guess it keeps you sharp, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like,
for
you
sure.
want to put that best foot forward, like, I want this. Like, that way, like, when you come out, it's like, if you get beat or stuff like that, like, you still, like, I put a dope total. I made myself as competitive as I could.
For sure.
That way, like, everyone's like, oh, well, I didn't win. I was like, could you throw no more? It's like, well, I threw 2 PRs. Like, then you can't be mad at that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, winning's cool, but, like,
you did what you could do.
Exactly. Like, so.
And if others are outlifting you at that time, others are outlifting you at that time.
Yeah, it's like you go back to the gym, you train harder. Like, you have more of a goal. You're like, okay, extra step. Like, cool, I want to climb another step now. Like, it's just.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and as a coach, like, that's, when I take you guys to those meets, even if it means we're, in 10th place and I can choose, all right, 2 kilos will put us in, 9th place, I'm probably going to choose to go up those 2 kilos and move us up a marker. Because, like you said earlier, you never know what's going to happen to the lifters above that.
Exactly, yeah.
And we've seen, I can't remember what meet it was. It might have been you, but it was something like that, where there were so many of these top athletes that came up to it. It might have been like that 3 or something.
They opened up super heavy.
Because they were all gunning for like a world team, and they like were shooting for like these really, really high numbers. And I don't think it was that meet. I think it was a different one. It was like a finals or something like that,
though,
where it was just like a bloodbath.
There's so much red just everywhere.
And so people were winning, getting medals from the B session for snatch or clean and jerk, and
like there was like everyone on podium literally went 2 for 6. Like I don't think anyone made more than 3 or 4 lifts. Like it was hard. It was insane to look at because like normally you see like a lot more green, but it was just like straight bloodbath. All red.
Yeah, and then if you're sitting in like 6th, 7th place, and then all of a sudden those next 5 guys bomb out, like you're on the podium.
You're on the podium, exactly. You could just start smiling.
Yeah, exactly. You never write yourself out,
Yeah.
especially in those meets. You know, A, B session. Like I would, I understand if you're like E session, your first time going out there,
Yeah.
then you're just trying to do the best you can do.
The best you can do, yeah.
But for you guys that are always in like those
If you're
A and
playing
B
like
sessions,
high
like,
B or like A session, like
you play to
gotta
rank
play
as
the
high
game.
as you can because
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen. So man, how many? So we've gone. This year's been crazy because there's obviously no nationals.
This year's
So so we don't even know. I mean, right now even like the nationals finals December stuff is kind of like up
still
in the air.
sketchy. Yeah, because like which with everything coming back, like even Vegas is starting to get more sketchy. It's like
I have no idea. I know.
that's why I'm not buying tickets till like last minute if it does happen, or I don't know. I'm hoping right now. I'm just hoping for like just finals. But-
Agreed. I think that's like the main thing. And so even you right now, I mean, you just asked me a second ago about like just doing like the 50-50 program,
Yeah.
which is like our program where we're doing 50% weightlifting, 50% conditioning.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I might as well just get in really good shape.
Yeah, 'cause it's
keep
like,
doing
I
some
just-
weightlifting, but we
like-
really don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah, because I've been doing it too long, and like to just like I'm done with it. It's like no, I can't let go of that. Like I still
Yeah.
want to lift and like be strong, but like at the same time, it's like man, like if I can get like leaner and like start dropping little pounds and just feel more athletic, like
Yeah.
feeling athletic transfers to how you lift. So
Well, plus you can just get when you have nothing. Like for me,
you feel lost.
yeah,
to a
when
point.
you don't have like, for me, like, and I think you're the same way. Like we're motivated by competition.
Yeah.
Like, all right, in 3 months we're going to finals.
Yeah, it's like
You're
XYZ,
okay,
I have this
I
much
can come
time
in
to work.
and
Yeah.
focus and grind through the stuff, but this stuff is so like repetitive that when you like,
If you don't,
like,
there's like no light at the end tunnel.
you're like, I don't know that I can like.
do I want?
Do I really want to push this hard on my 5x5 squats right now?
Yeah.
When I might not compete until next year. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's
like not that you shouldn't, but
it's more like
to some
I'd
extent,
almost
it's
rather like slow gain rather than just like kill it.
like take your time.
Yeah.
Almost like get a little bit in just maintenance mode for a little while.
Like get the body feeling healthy, so like when you do start hitting again, you're ready to go.
Yeah,
I
and
got you.
then when we know we want to ramp it back up,
Then we're ready
ramp
to go
back
for it,
up.
yeah.
But so even with like knowing that like Vegas is still on the schedule, and that's kind of what we're like programmed towards right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody going into Vegas is going to be like, we're only going there because we want to go to a competition.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of being like, we're going there because we're ready to like
We're
hit
ready to kill
PRs.
it.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to be ready to hit
Yeah,
PRs.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to be more like, we're just ready to get back on the platform.
Yeah, just kind
And,
of just rethrow some stuff. Yeah.
Well, that was what was fun like about Saturday.
Yeah, because like one, it was really fun not competing, just small thing, but like also like
So
seeing everyone else
real
compete.
quick. So on this past Saturday, we just hosted a small in-house meet.
Yeah.
One person per warm-up platform, everybody spread out, judges and masks, all the above. But there's a lot of people that didn't even get a chance to like put a competition in or put in a total this year.
Yeah.
So we did like an in-house one for our athletes. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, like it was just super fun. Like, cause I was in my head, I was like, well, I mean, there's no competition. This, and like Thursday was like, hey, I need some help coaching. You wanna help coach? Like, yeah, let's go. Showed up. Put on my mask, start coaching some people, and it was super fun. Like it was super fun to watch, watching the people that work hard. Like,
You forget how fun it is.
Yeah, cause like it's been like used to do a meet pretty regularly. Like there was like
At least every few months we were either going and coaching athletes at meets.
Yeah.
Or we were going and competing in meets. And so we were always around it. It was like a very regular thing. Like, at least, we would do at least 2 to 3 local meets.
Yeah.
And then we would do like 2 to 3 national meets.
Yeah, so I'd be around like
all the
pretty
time.
much 6+ meets a year. And also some friends like, yo, bro, I'm lifting. You want to come help? Like, I got a coach, so I'm gonna do it. Like, so you want to help? Like, load? Like, you know what? Let's go have some fun with it. But like, I was talking a while back, and it's like during part of the quarantine, some people thought I was weird, which I am. But like, listen to like, a little YouTube video of like people training like for a competition, like the good lifters. So, like, didn't watch it just to listen to like that hip, like just what it sounds like.
Hear it again.
To hear lifts, like And it was super calming. I was like, that's so weird because like I'm so used to hearing it like all the time. Like what good lifts sound like is just like what it like like a good lift. You know what it looks like just by hearing it a lot of times.
For sure. Yeah, you can have your back to an athlete and you can tell if they made a lift or missed a lift. Yeah,
finish your pull.
Yeah.
What are you watching? It's like, did you not finish your pull? Like, no. Like exactly. Like, how does he know? You can hear it. But so like.
But even as laid back as that was, and as small as it was, we hosted like 8 people.
Yeah.
8 or 9 people. It was just like I forgot how much like fun that was to just like have athletes go through that, their nervousness, picking attempts, and then like how everybody, even though we didn't have any spectators there, the athletes were all there rooting each other on.
Cheering for each other on. Like everyone wanted to just.
And then afterwards, everybody kind of talked about what happened, and we had a beer, and it was just like
kind of brought back that family.
You almost
feel.
forget about it.
Yeah.
And and like you forget like how like nice that is and how much you miss that. And that even happened to me during like the quarantine, where I was like, and I think you went through it too because you were like, I really like training at home. Like, and I kind of got the same thing. I was like, okay, I can kind of do this remote thing. I'm kind of liking this time away from the gym, and and I'm checking in with the athletes and their training and all this. And I was like, okay, this is doable. I can do this.
Yeah.
And then it was like literally for me, it was like the first day back in the gym. I was like, oh, this is so much better.
I'm back!
This is so much better.
Yeah, I was like, I'm only gonna train like a couple days. I'm still just gonna keep training at home.
Yeah. You were like, I'm gonna do most of my training at home. I'll try to drop in like maybe once a week when we got back at it.
And then it's like, Chris, here's all my stuff. I'm back.
Yeah. I think you came in like the very first week. You showed up like 2 or 3 times, and then you were like back to full time.
Yeah,
like, it just. Like, you forget like that atmosphere, man. It's
exactly. And like, even if there's only like one other person lifting, like it's still like, it's still like that atmosphere.
There's still energy to that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just being around other people. Yeah, like you said, just having, even if it's just you coming in and there's just a training partner there.
Yeah.
It just like makes such a big difference.
Yeah, it does. Like it's just like I was like, okay, like whether it's the same weight, lighter, like you can still like, okay, like that looked good. It's like, or you see something like, man, I really like their jerk is super sharp. It's like, I'm gonna try to jerk like that. I want to make it sharp.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it too.
Little things like start analyzing, like it's like, I want to, wow, that looks really good. It's like, I want to make mine look really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that, like, that want to be better. Like, you train by yourself, like, you can watch your videos, you're like, yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, I looked fast.
Yeah.
But then you come to the gym and you see somebody move faster, and you're like,
it's like, I'm not fast.
I could be faster.
I could be faster.
Yeah.
But, because, like, I like to train by myself. Like, it really built that like, I almost felt like a competition every day. It's like built that mental, that mental strength. But then, like, you're lifting with your people and stuff like that. It's like, I don't need mental strength. I have friends, and they are going to throw all the hype at me. That's what I need.
Yeah. But, there's such a good, the social side of it is still, like, I think super important, and how much, like, the team can help out the team.
Exactly,
because obviously we can all just go, like, weightlift. Like, you can go home and you can set up a really good garage gym.
Yeah, like, it's technical. Yes, it is an individual sport, and it's like, it's a team, but, like, if you really think it is an individual sport, you can do it completely solo, all by yourself. But that team aspect, though, it's dope, though. It's like, because then you're around a bunch of people that, like, I used to have some friends that, like, didn't compete, didn't work out, stuff like that. I was like, okay, cool. And they're just like, oh, let's go drink, let's go eat this. It's like, I'm cutting.
Yeah.
And they like try to peer pressure you into it. You do that with lifters, like you're like, man, I want this. They're like, you're cutting. You know better. It's like, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they kind of almost help keep you accountable. Like, it's just,
not only like the accountability of like coming to the gym and training, but it's almost like even outside the gym. They're like, hey, I know you're competing next week. No, you're not coming out tonight.
Yeah, exactly. If you show up, we're locking you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, come on. I got water. It's like, it's probably vodka. You're not coming in. It's like, damn it. But it's just, because like, and they're not going to try to peer pressure you into doing something that, because they're doing it. It's like, because you're all on that same page. You're on that same wavelength. Like,
and as fun as like the social side of it too, everybody's also here because they want to be like the best weightlifters they can be.
Yeah, they want to be.
So that's like goal number 1.
Yeah.
Like, such a huge part of like our gym is our community.
Yeah.
And like without our community, I don't think we would really have the gym that we have. But as important as that is, like everybody's still here because they want to be like really good
for that
weightlifters.
first reason. Yeah.
And so that like comes above everything, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And like we all want each other to be their best lifters. Like we're gonna compete against each other. Like just if someone beats me, I'm not like, oh, I'm mad. I was like, bro, you had a dope lifting day. That's what's up. Like it makes you kind of like want to raise your bar and like you start just kind of like compete against each other. Like if they beat you, you're not mad at that. It's just like I got more work to do. But when they lift good, you're still like the first person to be proud for them.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Well, especially you too, because you've also been like, I mean, you're pretty much the secondary coach that we have in the gym. You know, almost just as much as I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, you're here too. So you've always had your group of athletes. Like your schedule's different now.
Yeah.
But you always kind of took on the athletes that would come train at about like 6:30, 7 p.m. on.
Yeah.
And then so you would come in, you would train, but then you were also working with that group of people, which was like a large group. I mean, there was probably
like 15 people on the room.
Yeah. There was like 10 to 15 people that always showed up during those time frames. And so so you also had like some investment in all these athletes too. So when you see them grow, you're like, you know, like for me, you know, I'm pretty much just coaching now. I don't really do a lot of like competing and training myself.
Yeah.
But so for me, it's always like rewarding to just see somebody get better.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got both sides of that too. Like, you know, you're like, you know, I want to see them get better because I have a hand in that, and so it's super rewarding. But then you also have like all right, this person's coming up on me.
It's like, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great, bro. It's like, you need to get your stuff there. Come on.
Yeah.
Start patting yourself on the back of it. Like, oh man, they're really catching up. But I mean, it's like part of you was like, I want to stay the rabbit. I don't want to get eaten. I don't want to have a rabbit in front of me. But I mean, I do like love chasing people. But it's fun. Like it's like that push and that give and take. And usually when I tell, it's like, yo, I've been working this person, this. So if we go to a competition, it's like, I like to keep you obviously well informed. It's like, that's like, hey, they have this problem, like, we're working on this. So if things start falling apart, that's probably what it's going to be.
Well, yeah, and that's such a huge help to me when I can be like, hey, you see this person every single evening, you know, what do we really need to focus on?
Yeah.
You know, when I take them to competition. So being able to also have like that dialogue is super important.
And also we both coach and see what's wrong and stuff like that. But we both coach not completely differently, but we say the same thing, just we word it differently a lot of times.
Yeah, and sometimes that's huge.
Yeah.
Just hearing it. I mean, and I think that's like coaching. Anybody who like actually understands like how the lifts work. Yeah. Like everybody knows how the snatch is supposed to be performed. Like if you've studied it in the clean and jerk, but the cueing is what really is like different from person to person.
What sinks in on them. It was like, wow, that's great. I like that. So it's just really, and also hearing it like different ways multiple times. They're like, oh, well, this, like, he'll say something like, oh, Stan's been saying that for like a month. He's like, then do it. Like, that thing.
Exactly.
But
so having those different cues from different people, even though we're probably saying the same thing. Yeah. Just hearing it said a little bit different.
Sometimes it just really helps sink it in.
Absolutely. And of course, it's also the benefit that you've been my athlete, so we're also on the same page with everything. Exactly. But what's nice is our personalities are also different. Yeah. So I can lean on you when I'm like, all right, because I'm never going to be like the hype man. Yeah. Like that's just like not my personality. I am. Yeah, exactly. and so when like sure, I'll give the athlete like the slaps and all that kind of stuff and like the let's go, but I'm not going to I don't really bring a lot of what I like about team stuff is like the team brings the energy, so I don't have to. Yeah. But when we go to competition, sometimes there's certain lifters that are like, I need some energy. Yeah. And I
like Robert and Cole. Like, it's not even if they're like lifting good because they'd always move well. It's just like literally, it's like they need more aggression. I was like, if you just throw more hype at them, they're gonna make that lift. It's just so you just like throw it at them like full tilt at them, and they're like, they smoke their lift. It's like, there we go. I got this, yo.
Yeah. So it's nice for me because I can be like, all right, we know what this athlete needs. I'm like, I know that I need Stan in the back.
Yeah.
Like, Stan, we got this session. Can you be there? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I can just count the numbers,
Like,
pick the attempts.
I can load.
And then you can actually go over there and like work with the athlete and keep their energy levels where they need it and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice that we also like have these different personalities that we can bring to the meet too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And,
yeah, 'cause, like we also have like some people like she's great at helping people. She can be super hype, or just like yo, hey,
chill out.
Truth knife. Oh, sorry, we're at the competition. I'll take that back. But yeah, but it's just good because like we have so many different personalities that like you start figuring out who works best with who. Yeah, and it's like cool. I was like, sweet. We need these 2 people in the back. It's like, do you need 2? It's like, we only need 1 to load, but the other one's gonna be talking. It's just.
And our team's so good about like also not like. Everybody takes competition so seriously that nobody's ever like offended by anything either.
Yeah.
So what's really nice is we've got such a good like a group of personalities that we can kind of choose how we want the back area done. And so something that I do with like every single one of the athletes, and you do it with the athletes too when we take them to competition, is always like, okay, who all do you want in the back?
Yeah.
They'll be like this person and this person.
Yeah, because that way it's also small. It's not like public. It's like some people might get like well, I wanted to be. I was like, no. That is. I was like, oh, well, that way if the coach says like, no, coach says, yo, we're just having these people in the back, and it's crowded. Whether it be crowded or not, like we have. That person has who they want around them. Like,
yeah, exactly, and it's just what they need at that time. And so I don't think, and I've never seen anybody get mad when I go up to them and be like, hey, you guys, I need y'all out front. You can't be back here.
Yeah, they're
everybody's
like,
bad. Yeah, no problem. Like I think everybody just kind of like has accepted that, and because they know at that time it's about that one athlete.
Yeah, exactly.
If that one athlete's going to do better because they're not, seeing that person or hearing that person like I don't know, joking around, like because there's people who are just like constantly joking around, which is fine. But sometimes in the back room, somebody doesn't want that dynamic going on where they're sitting there trying to focus, and then there's somebody right next to them like joking around or something like that. Like, and so it's really good that we can like have like this
almost
perfect
cater
mold
it to them
to each person. And we've got usually enough diversity at every single meet we go to. Yeah, we can be like, I want this person in the back, or I don't want this person in the back, and everybody's like, cool.
Perfect. I was like, I'm happy to help, or you don't want me back. I was like, dope. I'm just gonna go get some videos. Like, everyone's happy to like accommodate for helping of some sort.
Yeah, and to be able to recognize that sometimes helping is like, I just need to be in the crowd and cheer them on. Yeah. Or like you said, I'm just gonna go over there and make sure we get some video from them. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes that's like the best help you can provide. Yeah. And and I don't
because everyone competes differently. Like
for sure.
Like, some people get too focused and then they're not gonna lift well at all.
And like you in the gym a lot of times, unless we're maybe doing like heavy singles or like in peak phase. Yeah. But most of the time you're like kind of joking around and pretty laid back and all this kind of stuff. But then when it comes to competition, you're like headphones in,
dead face, and I'm just like,
you just sit there and you just wait until I tell you what to do, and then you just do it.
Yeah, it's wait and take this, sit here, take it over there, come back. Like that's all I want. I don't want to say, oh, like what do you want? What weight? I was like, Chris know me long enough. Is like, don't ask me what weight it is.
Just put it on the bar.
Because it's just not gonna happen. You can watch how I lift and like that's not probably gonna happen today. Or you're like, yo, we need this shit to happen. Figure it out. Yeah. Throw the hell out of it. And like you'll throw hype at me. And it's like, okay, we got this. But it's that understanding of like like how people are, and like that's what matters.
The way that I throw hype at you, what you respond best to is basically I have to like belittle you. Yeah. I have to be like, hey, don't fuck this up.
Yeah, like I remember one time he was like, don't fuck this up. You're hungry? Let's go fucking eat after. It's like, food, let's get it!
That's right. How to amp you with like the motivation of food. Hey, I know you're hungry. You make this lift, we're gonna go eat right afterwards.
I was like, I'm smoking it, let's go. But
like you almost respond to that, as me being like just
talk mad shit to me, coax me with food. Those are really like that's kind of what I want. Like that's where I'm at.
And that's like again, that's not like a trait of mine at all. Yeah. Like I don't I'm always like the, compliment sandwich like type coach.
Yeah.
And but you respond really well to me, and I don't get up and like yell at you or anything like that.
It's just
but
real
it's like,
serious, like, yo,
it's like as I'm about to
you.
slap your traps, it's like get in your ear, talk a little bit of shit, slap you, and then
Slap
let you
him
walk
loose.
out there.
Set him loose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. I can respond well to that because like it's like he gets it right before I'm actually gonna lift, so that way it's just like doesn't wear off. It's like I'm ready for it now.
Yeah. And
because I've had so many people's like who were like in the back loading for me, and they're like trying to talk to me. I'm just headphones in, just not saying a damn thing, just like in my world.
Yeah.
They're like, I've never seen him so focused. It's like when I compete, I'm here to here for a reason.
Sure.
Like,
and you can definitely see that switch. Because it is different than your normal personality.
Yeah.
Normal personality is usually always just like chatting and
we're
talking
having a
and
good time
joking
and just,
around.
like,
Exactly.
lift here and there, but
And then game day comes and you just hone in.
Yeah.
And it is nice because with you have enough trust you have enough confidence in your lifting, and me as the coach that if I pick your numbers, it's not like gonna freak you out.
Yeah. Well, I also know that you're gonna try to put me in the best place possible.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, oh, well, we're shooting for 4th. I mean, if I'd bumped it 2 kilos, you could take 3rd. I'd rip you apart. Like, I'd be so pissed.
Yeah. No,
and I know you wouldn't do that. You're like, no, we're gonna.
If
like,
it means
you're gonna have to really want this, but if you do this, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
It's like I want that.
For sure, and it's
like I'm hungry. Like I'm hungry for that. That's what I like.
We kind of know what our window is, and and sometimes that means we take a conservative jump because it puts you in a better placement.
Yeah.
Even though you're capable of more, and vice versa. It's like being able to play that, but what's nice is, you might usually make like a 5-6 kilo jump in training.
Yeah.
But if I have to make like a 7 kilo jump to put you in, a higher placement,
we're still just gonna do it.
You're like, it doesn't like throw you off.
Yeah.
You're like, if that's the right decision, then I'm gonna go out there and lift it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, because when I compete, like, there's not like, it's like, lifted like 70 kilos, lifted like 100 kilos. Like, when I compete, it's like, I'm gonna rip it as hard as I possibly can. There is no my little control meter is just broken when I compete because I'm just flooring it as hard as I can every time I pull it. So that way, like, it's not like, I didn't pull it hard enough. It's like, no, we floored it every time. It's just like, I don't want to like. Because especially like after a competition, I don't want to say like, I left. I left something out or I didn't do this.
That's such a good trait though, because I've also have some of the athletes where if we deviate from their game plan at all, it like kind of throws them off, makes them nervous. Where because sometimes warm-ups don't go perfect, and I'm like, hey.
Sometimes you got to CrossFit. Sometimes you have 15 minutes between each set. Like you almost have to the waves. Oh man, I hate those. But like.
But
it
you know
makes
how
it
important it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, how many times have you taken a lift and then you got 10 minutes before your next lift?
You're like,
we're not going to just sit there. Yeah, because, I mean, there's times where, I can't remember what competition it was.
We went to an AO. Me and Kevin had like at least 15 to 20s between. Like
everybody was lifting like the same numbers.
So it's like, here we go. Like, literally just like sat down, had to like almost completely warm up back to 70. It's like, it's like sweet. So I'm doing a lot of competitions today.
Because we had you opening like on Snatch somewhere around like 130 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the start list, and
Everyone
it was literally like everybody had like 125 to like 135 in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is going to be rough, because we knew that
go.
After every single lift, there was going to be at least like 6 or 7 lifters, if not more.
And exactly. And out of the bigger meet, like they're going to take the full minute.
And it's going to wear you out.
Yeah, and like because you almost like start getting cold again. So like you almost have like make sure you move around, bring clothes, and like mentally it's hard.
Yeah.
Like it wears you out way more, because like normally you warm up, boom, hit it, done.
Yeah.
But like pretty much had to do that 3 times just for snatch. Like warm up, hit it, boom.
Yeah.
Warm up, hit it, boom. Then you're like, you feel like you already did a full competition. You're like, I have one more attempt, and then I start clean jerks.
Like, now,
oh man, like just. Mike Tyson said something a long time. It was like, everyone's got a great plan till you get socked in the face. Like
Yeah.
In weightlifting, it's gonna hit you in the face a lot of times. You just got to be ready for it.
Yeah, and if you haven't trained like waves that way,
Yeah.
like that's why we do waves in every single cycle.
Because it transfers.
It transfers over, and if you're not used to, hitting 95% and then having to drop back down to 80,
Yeah.
and then hitting 97% and drop back down to 85.
Going to
Like,
100,
if you're not
like,
used
or
to
something
that,
like that, yeah.
you're not used to taking that many lifts between like 80% and 100%. You're not going to hit clean and jerks.
Yeah,
You're going to be too tired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, because that way, just one builds like the strength, obviously, but also like the endurance. But the biggest thing for me is like it builds that confidence. Like you
sure.
can hit that weight like a certain weight, like hot, cold, old, ready, not like you can smoke that weight no matter how tired you are.
Yeah.
Like walking up to the platform with that level of confidence, it's euphoric to a point. Like you're gonna smoke a lift. Like that mentally, that's what you need really. Like that's awesome. And people are like, well, hey, like 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 is crap odds. Like, yeah, it's cool they have that chance, but like even like
for sure.
Even like 5 out of 10, that's way better odds. You start pushing like to that 7 to 10, like you kind of walk around with a little swag to you. Like you have that confidence, and you got that confidence on a lighter weight. You start throwing heavier weight, like that just puts you in a better position.
Yeah, I think a lot of third attempt clean and jerks are missed because people don't do enough volume of those like waves and heavy lifts.
Yeah.
And because it's not, if you always train like your heavy singles or your max outs as you warm up, you hit your lift, you rest 3 minutes, you hit your next lift, you rest 3 minutes, hit your next lift.
Yeah.
It's like that scenario is barely ever happens.
Real rare. Like
Very
like
rare.
that's why like as we've competed more, like I've pretty much trained. Like I've trained where I've trained where I take 5 minutes to 7 minutes between lifts. Like it gets harder, but like that way whenever I would meet, like for me it's like, hey, we gotta go re-hit 130. Like when it starts getting heavy, like it hits you. It's gonna hit you no matter what, but like it's gonna hit you a little more. Like so for me, like I've just gotten used to is like I know that like especially since I rated a lot of body heat, like I can survive like
you can stay warm for a while.
Yeah, a 6 to 7 minute wait. If it's longer than that, I might take a pull, but like for me, I don't like going back down. He makes me do it. Like I know, but I can. I'm trained to be able to do the waves.
Yeah, what you're good at. We've kind of decided that you do a good job with when having to take longer breaks and having to do something in the back. Is you almost like the post-activation potentiation where we'll load up a heavier weight than what you're going to go hit on the platform. So if you just opened up at 130 and your next attempt is 135,
load me 40 or something like that.
Yeah, we're probably going to load 40 and then rest about 3 or 4 minutes, pull 40, rest another 3 or 4 minutes, and then go back out there and take 35.
Yeah.
And you do really well with that. So you like feeling that heavier weight. So then when you go out there
it
and
just
lift,
feels like you
primed,
start pulling it like it's that heavy weight and you're just like smoking. You're like, let's go. Kind of again like builds that confidence. So you just feel strong with that. So
yeah, and I like that because some people like doing powers in between, and I suck
at powers though.
I also didn't like the feeling like a much lighter weight. And then going on the platform and then feeling something really
super heavy. Yeah, like
because you and me kind of struggled with similar things, like that pull off the floor.
Feels like a truck all the time. So if I feel a heavier truck,
yeah.
That Prius doesn't feel as bad. It's still heavy, but it's just like because if I go hit something light in the back and then I have to go like put like 40 kilos on it, like it's gonna. I know for a fact it's gonna hit me in the head. Like I'm gonna get mental with it, and it's just not. So I'd rather see like, wow, that pull was stupid heavy. But then to still pull it the same way is like it feels better in my opinion.
For sure. I think we're gonna have to do probably a part 2 or 3 because we've really only even talked about maybe
like a fraction
2 meets 3 meets. But I think we're already over an hour of chatting. This, I know it flew by.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's get back together and we'll kind of keep talking about some of our meets and experiences together because we've had so many. I mean, you've been with us since Blue Wave opened up.
Yeah.
And you were one of our first one of the
first three
three weightlifters that we've had, and we've got so many stories.
A lot of stories.
So let's get back together and do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure. I'm down.
And but yeah, man, thanks for coming out and chatting. I think you got training to do now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks.